Hi, here's a game in my A-43 as I was finishing it up during the weekend and unlocked the A-44. It's a tier 8 game on Erlenberg, and it actually is a loss, but I feel I did very well in it, and it shows the A-43's strengths, so I decided to record it. With the changes to Erlenberg moving the spawns, I always like to play this map counterclockwise. I feel it gives you better terrain, even as both the north and south spawn, I mean going counterclockwise. But our team all goes clockwise, and I actually called them out on it, but nobody listens, and, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, really. So I like to get up here, and I'll be able to often spot any heavies that just go around that corner. If they go all the way. If not, I like to push up further, but usually someone comes, and this gives me good terrain for getting back into cover after shooting. And here I am with cruise control on while typing, which is not the best idea. Not that it really matters in this case, because I was backing up. First enemy tank spotted is tier 6, not really a threat. I wasn't careful enough with this STA-1 and I ended up taking a hit from him, and that wouldn't have made a difference to the game as a whole, but I might have gotten a few extra 100 damage out in the end. I don't have 6th Sense in this crew, and I didn't realize I was still spotted. I should have expected it. Switch over to APCR because I don't like my chances with AP at this range against a T-150. I use the 57 as it has much better handling and accuracy, and it also gives you better gold rounds when you need those, so. And again, it's a really long-range shot to the point where the pen drop-off is actually noticeable, so I switch back to APCR for this KV-1S. If I'd let that aim in, if I'd let that settle for just an extra half second, it probably would have gone in. The STA-1 does not have very much armor. At this point, I realize this flank is a complete loss, and I run over to the other flank to at least get more damage in. The T-29 and KV-3 I left behind aren't especially... Actually, no, the T-29 especially is a very terrible player, so it's not exactly like I'm leaving them out to dry. Or, well, I am, but it doesn't matter. This IS-6, though, in the middle, I was very unimpressed by his play during the game, and I still think he was just a lucky puppy in the right place at the right time. But at the time, I actually thought he was just a bot who just ran down the center, or something to that effect, a similar level of play. And I wasn't quite fair to him later in the game, but I still don't think he did a good job. Going middle just opens you up to shots from both sides. I jump on this KV-1S, he misses his shot, and that basically kills him. I can just put too many shells into him too fast. He even catches on fire and has a manual extinguisher. Never use manual extinguishers. At this point, I just want to get out of the middle, and I expect I'm just going to get overwhelmed and killed, so I'm not too careful with how I do it. See the RHM and the 2 low health tanks, and I figure if I'm going to go down, I might as well give it an honest try. But the T-20 sees me and comes out to shoot me. Luckily, he misses his first shot. He's actually got one of the 76s, so it's probably worse for me than the 90, because with the 90 he would only get one shot in. But, well, it didn't end up mattering because he missed all but one shot in. Now, I'm fully expecting to die here because the RHM saw me and knows I'm coming, but he misses his shot, and then he can actually turn his turret and hull fast enough to follow me as I circle him, especially on a hill like this, but I don't take the time to try and get his tracks because I don't think... I think there's just too much chance of missing a shot. He stops turning his hull though, so it's a null issue. And now I just put shells into the STA-1 and gives me his side. I get lucky, he bounces his shot. But at this point I'm living on borrowed time. Anyway. I'm actually surprised the STA-1 didn't just drive over and kill me, because he knows I can penetrate him. And it's not like I could do too much to him frontally. I almost stay out too long there, but don't get punished for it. Ask for some help. That T-32 can have safe shots on the STA-1. I don't know what he's doing. IS-6 asking for me to get on cap, which is a monumentally stupid idea. I probably wouldn't even survive to get to the cap circle. And I certainly wouldn't be able to put meaningful cap pressure on it alone with so many tanks that could just spot and shoot me. It turns out to be meaningless anyway, because the T-32 would have been on my path to the cap, so... Even ignoring the other tanks, I would not have made it. And at this point, I call out our IS-6 for making bad decisions, and our team in general. It was a loss after a lot of losses, and I was not in a good mood. I was not going to be too lenient with these bad decisions and bad players. We did lose the west flank, even though we had far more tanks over there. We didn't lose it by a large margin, but, I mean, come on, you have more tanks, and you would be bailed out by a bottom-tier A-43. So... The IS-6 actually did do rather good damage this game, so it probably wasn't fair to call him a bot. I probably should have just called him bad, but... What are you gonna do? Nothing really to see here. The KV-1S... I mean, he can survive one shot. He should have aimed in that shot, because then he would have killed the T-32. It would still be a loss anyway, but at least he'd have that extra kill.